the basement.
You are
Please don't push me, but y'all push B. Now we got dwellers from Cali to Flatbush B. Now they got heat on their feet that say press B. And now we so deep in the street, y'all can't stress me. Can't curse me, then bless me. I'm crucifying my flesh, that's less me. SAT from preaching, can't test me. Atheists are now believing, that bless me. Yeah, we got the basement replacing any of those worldly pursuits that y'all chasing, any of those trials and tests that y'all facing, any of the relationships that y'all changing. We rearranging, making the shame shift, giving Satan back what's his, that's the blame shift. Rise up and walk commands, that's the lame shift. Cheat codes for living this life, that's the game shift. All on Yeshua, man, the rest is manure, man. I'm dying daily, so I rise up a purer man. Pressing B daily, so my sins looking fewer, man. Washing the blood, so my sins down the sewer, man. Yeah, so press B with me, and let's let whatever gon' be just be. Yeah, so press B with me, and let's let whatever gon' be just be. Welcome to the basement, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Tim Ross. I hope you're all doing well. It's just me chilling with you. I hope you guys are all chilling. I hope you had a great weekend, right? I hope your weekend, fin de semana, I hope it was absolutely amazing, maravilloso. In about, I don't know, 11 months, 12 months, this might be a bilingual show. Who knows? Huh? On days that I have to get my Spanish in, there's just too much, mucho más palabras. There's too many words swimming around in my head, and so they all might fly out at the same time. Shout out to all of my B-siders. If you've downloaded that B-side app, I mean, you're rocking with us to the fullest, right? You being a B-sider is the equivalent to these people that have these. What's the name of that other platform that people always tell people to go to because they don't want YouTube to take 30%? It's that other platform. Patreon. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about Patreon, but then no, is it Patreon? Patreon is one.
Twitch, Patreon.
No, there's a, oh man, if it's, somebody has to say it for me to know it. It's Patreon is one. Maybe it is Patreon. It sounds like it might be something else though.
Are you talking about like when people pay memberships?
Dailymotion, Vimeo, Twitch, D2, Vivo, Flickr, Vio.
Twitch and Patreon are the ones where people are like.
Yeah, it's probably Patreon. It probably is. They tell you to, I can't remember. Anyway, if you are a B-sider, it's the equivalent to that. That's you are literally saying it is Patreon. Thank you, Ash. You are literally saying, hey, I want to support the creative content that I get here. Instead, you're supporting an entire platform. You're not just supporting me. You're supporting the basement. You're supporting the deep end with Lecrae. You are supporting Lights On with Carl Lentz. Let's go. My homie Carl came out with Lights On last week. Do you all know within 7 days, it was, I think, number 45 or 46 overall, and not like in a category, overall, all podcasts, okay? It was number 1 in documentaries on podcasts, and people have been really resonating with it. So that's what you're not just supporting me. Like don't think that like I started some platform so I could become some like multimillionaire and just be like sitting up like ha 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 I hacked the system. No. We're giving you a platform. We're trying to launch new voices every quarter that literally build out this beautiful roster of voices that you come to learn from, trust in, but we all got one common thread, and that is vulnerability. We want to lead with vulnerability. We want to lead with authenticity. We want to lead with humility. And we also want to be bold enough to tell you the truth. We also want to be bold enough to give you
what God has given to us, the way he gave it to us, authentically us. And so, you know what? I want to marinate right there for my B-siders, for all of you all that have downloaded the app and subscribed. Not just downloaded, but also subscribed. I just want to tell you, thank you. You are responsible for the basement being here in its iteration right now. You are responsible for the Deep End with Lecrae being what it is right now. You are responsible for Carl Lentz being able to come back after 4 years of all these documentaries being talked about him and all these exposés about what happened with Hillsong and Carl and all this kind of stuff. Out of all the ways he could have came back, he chose B-side because of his vulnerability and his authenticity. And so, listen, my man in within 7 days has blown away every category on podcasts. I haven't even come close to that in the almost 2 years that I've been doing the basement. And here's what I say to that. Yeah! Yeah! I need you to know, ain't no competition over here, homie. It's all love over here. We on the same team. I don't care who. Listen, let Carl be Kobe, Michael Jordan, LeBron James. I'll be Dwayne Wade, Byron Scott. Pick an era. Penny Shaq. What are we doing? It don't matter. It don't matter. It's all love. Whoever does whatever is. Listen, man. When your ego is dead, you can celebrate. When your ego dies, when your pride dies, let me talk about it in Pride Month. When your pride dies, you can become a different type of person. When pride lives, you'll be whatever you think you need to be. Huh? I'm feeling one today. Huh? On 4.5 hours sleep. I'm feeling one today. So I just want to say I love you. I love all my B-siders. Thank you all so much for your support. You are helping us literally turn the world upside down with the message, love, and hope of Jesus Christ. Shout out to everybody that is a dweller in all aspects. You've taken on this mentality. If you haven't had the opportunity to pick up the book yet, what are you even doing? Welcome to the Basement is literally the blueprint for dwellers. Point blank. Period. You got some people that won't listen to our podcast. If you already bought the book, fling it to them now with your underlines and your highlights and everything. Fling it to them. If you're like, nah, they ain't getting my copy, homeboy. You might have signed it for me. Then go pick it up. Go to the Target. There should be no more books in these Target stores. But if there are, I need you to go get those books and help people. You hand them the book, you're handing them the philosophy of the basement, right? They can read the words. Maybe they found a clip of me and they've been soured by a 90-second clip and they're like, I don't even know if I like that dude, Tim Ross. Fling them the book. Fling them the book. They might not like the clip. They might like those words, right? Some people need to be reached in different ways. So don't give up on trying to reach them. I don't give up on trying to reach people. I had somebody, I was in Atlanta over the weekend at the Next Level Speakers Conference. Let me tell you something. It was absolutely amazing. Jeremy Anderson, E.T., Inky Johnson, and so many other speakers were there. If you have not stepped into Next Level Academy, if you haven't taken that step to be a part of that community, I don't even know what you're doing. I actually don't even know what you're doing. If you feel called to speak about anything, I need you to understand. Yes, you might have an anointing. Yes, you might have a grace, but there's some things you need to do and some things you need to know to be able to go to the next level, to be able to be booked to speak all around the country, to be booked to speak all around the world. And so we were there with hundreds of people that over the weekend at the Peachtree in Atlanta. And let me tell you something, y'all. Jeremy Anderson is just different. I just want to say this up front. Jeremy Anderson is a whole different type of person. This dude he ain't going to say this about himself, so I'm going to just say it. He's a multimillionaire. He gets to travel around the world speaking. But his coaching enterprise and entrepreneurship is really what's taken off. And he's helped hundreds of people reach six figures, reach 7 figures speaking. You got to understand, you might not think nobody wants to hear your story. You might think, oh, the market is saturated. There's too many speakers out there. There's 332 million people in this country alone, fam. 332 million people. I looked at a stat today. By 2050, there'll be 750 million Spanish speakers worldwide. Spanish is the second most spoken language in the world after Mandarin Chinese. And Mandarin Chinese is first because there's 1 billion people in China. So it's not even fair to say, because it's not like the average person is like, my second language is going to be Mandarin. Nah, it's because there's 1 billion people in China. But Spanish is the second most spoken language in the world. So if you were to pick up even one more language, you've now unlocked the potential to do business with 750 million more people. What are we even talking about? Why not you? There's a message God's put in your heart. Why not you? There's something God has given you to say to the world. Why not you? And I'm not talking about you just turning your camera on and just prophesying for an hour. I'm talking about you being able to make money, make this a business, be able to bless the kingdom of God, and do what he's called you to do in a significant way. So let me just tell you about Jeremy Anderson real quick. I'm going to just testify for a minute. So I'm in Atlanta. First, giving honor to God, who is the head of my life. I'm going to go back to my old Pentecostal roots. First, giving honor to God, who is the head of my life, to the pastor, to the first lady, to the church mothers, the deacons, the elders, the saints of God. Juliet and I was in Atlanta over the weekend at the Next Level Speakers Conference. And I got to tell you, even if I wasn't speaking at it, I would be at it every year because it was just uplifting, encouraging, the whole nine. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about Jeremy Anderson. Jeremy Anderson gets all these people in there that want to grow business, that literally want to speak. They're coming in to learn how to get booked. Do you know what this dude does on his opening session? On his opening session, he says, let me tell you why all of this is working. It's because I found God. At a business conference, fam, he literally just goes, it's because I found God. And if you want to have the success I've had the way I've had it, this is the first thing you need to know. And then at the end of his session, proceeds to do an altar call. Over 100 people give their life to Jesus at a business conference. And then he's like, you need to take yourself to the next level. There is a swimming pool on the 11th floor of this Westin hotel. And if you're really serious about this life, meet me tomorrow morning on the 11th floor in the pool area at 6:30 a.m. and we're going to baptize you. Fam, 95 people showed up. Wow. At 6:15 in the morning to get baptized. So now here I am in a swimming pool at 6:30 a.m. Tim, I need you with me, bro. We got to baptize these people. It's a lot of people. So me and several other people are in the pool, and we're just dunking people. 95 people. About 10 of them come in, we dunk them, 10 of them walk out, 10 more come in, we dunk them, 10 go out, 10 more come in, we dunk them, 10. Yo, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Like, yeah, no, that I'm about that life. Like that's a beautiful thing. But like, yo, like this is when you make up in your mind, this is a movement. You find a way to bless people. You find a way to get busy. So, yeah, I'm just encouraging everybody. Like, if speaking is something that you feel called to do, you need to be a part of the Next Level Academy, because you'll learn to do it in a way that literally strategically points you to getting booked on stages, booked on platforms. I still feel uncomfortable calling any church a stage. I call it a platform. It's just, I need it for my mind. I save stages for corporate. But booked nonetheless to do what you do. If you've been called to speak, speak. I talked to a dude yesterday And he was like, man, I feel like I'm called to be in these schools and all this kind of stuff, but I also feel like I'm called to be in these churches. And I don't want there to be confusion when I go speak at a school and when I speak at a church. And I said, if you say that you're a speaker, that's all encompassing. Whether you speak at a church or you speak at a school, you're a speaker. But if you call yourself a preacher, you're going to be labeled as a guy that just speaks in churches. And then I gave him Bible. Because I already know there's some like super sanctified people that's going to hear this and be like, no, God called you to preach. He said, preach the gospel. He sure did. Absolutely. And Peter said, if your gift is to speak, then speak as if you are an oracle of God. So, yes, there is a time for preaching and there is a time for speaking. And when you are setting up business, set it up as a speaker. You already know what's going to happen when you preach. But when you speak, you get to sow seeds in people's lives that might turn into a harvest for the kingdom of God later. You never know. You just got to put that seed in and be strategic with it. Every time you encounter somebody, you got to use discernment with this. Every time you encounter somebody, it's not a moment to blatantly share the gospel. Sometimes it's to sow a seed. And sometimes that seed is love. Sometimes that seed is kindness. Sometimes that seed is patience. Sometimes that seed is long suffering. And then somebody else will come water, and then God will get the increase. But the gospel has many, many forms that it can be presented in. And you just got to be sensitive to the Spirit so that you know, oh, you know what, this is a moment where I need to be live and direct. Holy Spirit, give me boldness. And other times you got to be like, Holy Spirit, give me wisdom. What do I need to say right here? What would be the most strategic line I can say, or the phrase I can say, or the gesture that I can make, or the action that I can display that'll get this person to understand that I'm from a different country? Because the kingdom of God is absolutely a different country. So that's something that I just think it's like the life hack. So anyway, Atlanta was amazing. My girlfriend was with me. It was dope. And now it's Monday. We back at it like crack addicts. Like we back on Mondays chilling. And I'm so excited. I look forward to Mondays. Even on 4.5 hours sleep, I look forward to Mondays. Even though I'm not caffeinating my body anymore, I look forward to Mondays. Because we get to grow here, we get to build here, we get to laugh here, we get to cry here, we get to learn here, we get to vent here. We get to do all the things here on Mondays. So we locked in for the next 2 hours, fam. We locked in. It's 11:18 a.m. on this. I sound like a radio personality now. It's 11:18 a.m. You just heard from DJ Khaled. Hey, let me say something. I'm gonna say something. I don't know who's gonna get mad, but I'm gonna say something. I wanna challenge all the men when it comes to pause culture. I don't know if y'all know what pause culture is. But the pause culture is, if anything has a sexual innuendo to it, you have to say pause. You got to point out like, oh man, that sounds like a sexual innuendo, you know. And so like if somebody were to say something like, man, it was really good linking up with you yesterday. Somebody would be like, yo, pause, fam. What are you even saying about that?
Crazy.
Oh, that's crazy. You can't say that.
It's hard out here. And then they're like, oh, pause.
Yeah. It's like, hey, bro was on that court. Bro was on fire. He was going through them. Oh my God, Paul. Let me tell you why I want to question it. You're training your mind to pick up on sexual references. Like the fact that you can't even let it go. Like it's to me, it's so 8th grade. Like I used to do that like in 8th grade. No, actually, I'll take it higher. Like it's so high school. Like in 11th grade, 12th grade, we used to play a game called Top One. It wasn't called Pause back then. It was called Top One. My friend, I can't say his name. I won't do that. To me, my friend has the highest Top One. Again, it was called Top One back then. Y'all call it Pause now. He has the most flagrant pause in all of human history. And again, this is 11th grade. I'm not saved. 11th, 12th grade, I'm not saved. And we used to play this game, right? So here's what he said. He had one of the, what was the gum that had the little filling in it? It wasn't, I don't know if it's Bubblicious or something, but it was some
Hubba Bubba.
Hubba Bubba.
No.
It was something had
It's from the early.
yeah, but there was some gum that had like a little, maybe it was Bubblicious or Bubbaloo, and didn't have like a filling in it. Yeah, okay, so it was Bubbaloo. So he had the gum, and he was like, "Oh my God, bro, he didn't know it was Bubbaloo." So he goes, "Oh my God, I put it in my mouth, and then I bit into it, and it gushed all down my throat." He was being literal about what and Hubba Bubba was too. Hubba Bubba had it too. To me, that was like the highest Top One of all time, right? If we're going to talk about a reference, right? And I just don't think like that no more. Like my brain doesn't even want to, like I back then it was always the first thing I noticed, but then I'm watching like people on television now, like sports commentators on television literally pause. Oh my God, what are you even saying out here? I'm like, you on TV, nigga? Hey, you're pointing a nationwide audience to a sexual reference that nobody else was going to pick up on. The dude was talking in context. So this happens a lot in sports because these are contact sports. So when they start talking about those bodies are banging down low, oh, pause. What? These are 2 7-feet people. What else can they do? They're literally banging up against each other, right? It's like the running in football. He ran through that gap faster than Carl Lewis, and pause. It's an A gap. They actually call it a gap in football. You shoot through it. All I'm saying is I just want to encourage men to, can you elevate your mind? Can you just, can you not be in 12th grade? I'm just asking. Can you keep it to yourself? Like, get home and sniggle about it. But can you not be on TV and really? This is the only thing that comes to your mind. What grade are we in? Imagine me married with kids close to 50, still sniggling like a 19-year-old. Oh, did you hear what he said? It's just, oh man, hey man, I'm trying to call men up higher, man. That's all I'm trying to do. That little baby watching me. Oh my gosh. Hey, Discord is where it's at, man. Hey, Discord is the most audio visual chat that we have. Like, I'm not gonna hold you.
There's another one.
Oh my goodness, all the babies is watching. Listen, these parents must trust me out here. They must trust me. They're like, listen, you gonna learn it young, kid. You growing up with Tio Tim, like you gonna understand today. Hey, shout out to YouTube, 851 people in the chat right now. I love you guys so much. I'm so grateful that you're here. Carla, Sheena, Carlos, Anthony, Mika, Nathan, Angela, Tyler. I love you guys. Art, y'all are amazing. As you know, TikTok, you don't stop. My TikTokians. It's the dumbest name of all time, but I love you guys so much. All of my dwellers in TikTok, they up in here. Luke, Mr. Pinero, Jocelyn, Samo, does that say Madeline or Maid? Made Knee, Chassis, Ernest, Christy, Jalen, Sierra, Noah. I love you. I love all y'all. I'm so glad you're here. L-A-J. Y'all amazing. I love you guys so much. Thank you all so much for rocking with me. I appreciate you. Cali Strong Forever. Y'all still in here. Glee, I love you. Jennifer, you know I love you. Lisa, Madeline, Culinary Cutie. That's her name. I didn't call her culinary chef a cutie. Cheyenne, Malia, Janine, Tagia Lee, maybe Derek, Moody, Jasmine, Thedora. I've been doing Spanish all morning, so I want to literally turn it in. Thedora. Like I literally want to switch it. Sara, Sandra, Alex, Joshua, Andrea, I see it, Isaias, Isaiah, Constance. Hey, so I had to copy and paste for the talk that I gave at the Next Level Speakers Conference. I had to copy and paste my notes for them to pull up, and I had scriptures. But everything in my phone is in Spanish. Okay. And so, because I switched my phone over, I switched the language of my phone over to Spanish. So now all of my apps, mi aplicaciones, es en español, right? Entonces, I sent them my notes, and when they pulled them up, all the titles of the books were in Espanol. So the first one was Isaias, right? And then it was Juan. I was like, yo, in John 14:27, and everybody just started sniggling. And I'm like, what? But when I looked over and looked at the slide, Juan. So it was so funny just to see Juan up there, and everybody got a kick out of it, but it was great. But I'm about that life, man. I'm telling you, I'm about to be fluent up in these streets. Y'all ain't gonna know what to say to me. Speak nice, though. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to speak nice. Yeah, I'm good. What we getting into today? What y'all want to talk about? It's 11:28. I don't know why I keep calling out these towns like a radio DJ, but it feels good. It's 11:28 a.m.
Brought to you by B-Side.
Brought to you by B-Side. We out here in these streets.
Got the young 7-day trial.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we still in that 7-day Father's Day trial, right?
Yeah.
Is it Father's Day yet?
Next Sunday. Next Sunday.
This coming Sunday? This coming Sunday?
Yeah, this upcoming Sunday is
It's Father's Day.
Día de los Padres. Día de los Padres.
Sí, repites, por favor.
Día de los Padres.
Día de los Padres. Sí, Día de los Padres.
Yeah.
Days of the Fathers.
Yeah. We can go into questions. We can go. Did you go to an event last week? You said in Dallas. I don't know if you want to touch on that or whatever.
Oh, I was with the Perrys. Yo, okay. Peep game. So after that was 7 days ago. So I did my whole podcast day last Monday, and then banged out to Dallas to support Preston and Jackie. They're on a podcast tour right now. They sold out Fellowship Dallas. Shout out to Fellowship Church and Grapevine and all of the campuses. So they were at Fellowship Dallas, and Fellowship Dallas, or just Fellowship Church, their employees, they got some nice people. I like them. So, but anyway, the Perry sold out that place, and I just went to support them. Like, I wasn't going to be seen. I wasn't going to be heard. I was going to support my friends that are in this podcast space, that are doing it big. It's all same team. I talked earlier about Lecrae and Carl Lentz being on the B side, and how we want to launch a new voice every quarter. That's me. That's me as CCO of this company wanting to like diversify, right? Like it takes all types to reach all types. Everybody ain't into me. Everybody ain't into Cray. Everybody won't be into Carl. But we gonna keep adding these voices until you like, you know what? I wasn't even gonna mess with that B-side app. But then they got so-and-so. And so here I come. We gonna get you regardless, okay? We get you now, we get you later, or we don't get you at all. It don't matter. We love you. We're just trying to help you, okay? And so, but here's the thing though. They ain't gotta be on your side to be on your team. Let me slow roast this. They don't have to be on your side to be on your team. Oh, I got to give you Bible for this. I got to give you Bible for this. Let me see what this is. This one is going to be, I know it's in like chapter 9 of something. Yeah. Okay. Marcos. Book of Mark. Marcos.
I love that. That's so dope.
Yeah. So this is Mark. I knew it was 9. I knew it was chapter 9 of somebody's book. So Mark chapter number 9, verse number 39. Here's what it says. Actually, let's go back to up to 38. Now John answered him saying, just so y'all know, I went back. I switched from NLT to New King James Version. And I did it because I miss my dad. So don't think that I don't like NLT no more. I just miss my daddy. And it had to be a few weeks ago. I was just chilling on the couch. Nathan was cleaning up, and he brought me a Bible. And he was like, Daddy, where do you want me to put this Bible? And it was the Bible my daddy gave me when I gave my life to Jesus. It says Timothy Charles Ross on the front, and it's the King James Version of the Bible. And so when I read that Bible, I'm back with my daddy. And so, yeah, I'm rocking King James from here on out. First 30 years was King James, and then like the last, like 20, no, not 20. It would be a little less than 20. Last 16 years has been with NLT, and now I'm back with my New King James. So, all right. So here's what it says. Marcos, capítulo 9, versos 38. Y ya, nana. Vale, let's go. Que chévere. Now John answered him saying, Teacher, we saw someone who does not follow us. Get that? We saw someone who does not follow us casting out demons in your name. And we forbade him because he does not follow us. Hey, I got to slow cook this, yo. I didn't know I was going to get into this, but let me say something. To think that people that don't follow you don't follow God is crazy. To think that people don't believe just like you, don't hold the same convictions just like you, to think that people that don't hold the truth the exact same way you do means that they don't follow God, that's crazy. But Jesus said, and these next letters are in red, do not forbid him, for no one who works a miracle in my name can soon afterwards speak evil of me. For he who is not against us is on our side. If he's not against us, he's on our side. Do you know somebody cannot follow you and not be against you? Ooh. Just because somebody don't follow you doesn't mean they're against you. A lot of y'all got imaginary haters. You want to be hated for the motivation. That's all because you don't have peace in your heart. So you need something to fuel you from the outside because you don't have peace and joy from the inside. You trying to run through life like Michael Jordan. I took offense to that. That's all I needed as motivation. The moment, yeah, I didn't like him. And so that was enough for me to. Somebody put a compilation that I saw on TikTok over the weekend of The Last Dance, and they just excerpted all the places where Michael Jordan took offense to somebody, and that was enough motivation for him to go out. Yeah, man. Do you actually want to go through life bitter? That's how you want to accomplish all your goals? With the thoughts of somebody else living rent-free in your head? The thoughts of somebody's words living rent-free in your head? Listen, everybody that is not following you does not automatically mean they're against you. Like, stop playing. Some people don't rock with Tim Ross. That's cool. Some people don't rock with me like that. They don't, I don't follow Upset the Gram. I don't like his stuff. That don't mean they're against me. I'm just not their taste. And what's wrong with that? You know how many restaurants is out here catering to people's taste? Are we going to act like Kava ain't what Zoe was? Are we going to act like there ain't another Mediterranean place you can go to? Everybody got taste. I have literally been at an intersection and seen a McDonald's, a Burger King, a Wendy's, and a Jack in the Box across from each other. And everybody has somebody not only in the restaurant sitting down eating, but also coming through their drive-thru. If it was a matter of a burger, pick one, blow up the other ones. But everybody got a preference. Again, just because somebody don't follow you doesn't mean automatically that they're also against you. And here's what Jesus was saying. In his own words, for he who is not against us is on our side. If you're not against us, you're for us. Point blank, period. That's how I feel about other people's ministries. That's how I feel about other podcasters that are in this space, that are believers in Jesus. They're doing the same thing that we're doing. They might do it a different way. They're not against us. Just because they do something a different way, they're not against us. Now, for all the, the heresy hunters, all the people that are out there that just, they just making a living, calling out false teachers and people that they don't think are doing it the way that they should do it. That's a whole different breed. I'm not talking about them. I don't even, and I would never mention them. Like I'm not bringing up their name on my pod. They'd bring up my name on theirs and my image, because how else are they gonna pay their car note? I'm still waiting for a bottle of wine from y'all. Owe me a bottle of wine. All y'all that's been doing reaction videos to my content, all of y'all that make content from my content, I need a bottle of Hall wine from you. I need that tax, fam. You paying your mortgage, I need that tax, fam. You got that gas money, I need that tax, my nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Phone check, homie, nigga. No, I'm just playing. Let me say.
Paying your mortgage.
Hey, that's that LA. That's that LA coming out of me. That's that LA coming out of me. Phone check, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, nigga, let me see that phone real quick. Sorry, man. That's that hood in me. But so all I'm saying is everybody ain't against you. Everybody ain't hating on you. And if you're motivated by hate, if that's what you're like, yeah, I'm glad when they talk about me, because that just motivates me more. Like, nah, let that come from the joy of the Lord, man. Let that come from the joy of the Lord. Y'all can say whatever you want about LeBron and his legacy, but I'm gonna tell you, if I had the opportunity to play on the court with Michael Jordan or to play on the court with LeBron, I'm picking LeBron 10 times out of 10. Absolutely correct. I'm not gonna have the chips. I get it, right? I'm also not going to be punched in the chest and cussed out and told that I suck when I come on the basketball court, because I'm not wired exactly like this guy, right? Well, he pulled greatness out of people. Michael Jordan did that whole freaking documentary from like a hotel room. Or, well, actually, it's probably his house that he could. A room like that I see in hotels, right? But this is probably, I forgot, dude's a billionaire. Dude is paid. Dude, it's probably his house, right? But he was alone. There was no reunion at the end with the other guys, right? Him and Pippen fell out, right? Everybody was like, whatever couple of years, few years after LeBron, we'll make it 15 years, right? They're going to do a documentary on LeBron. LeBron's going to be in the same room, but they're going to get together. He's going to still remember the handshakes with everybody, right? Now, he sours some relationships. I'm not saying he's batting 1,000 or whatever, but I'm just talking about there's some more enjoyable experience when you got somebody on on the court that's there for the love of the game and not mad at his junior high basketball coach for cutting him from the team. I'm not lying. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the homework I got for y'all today. I need y'all to go pull up Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame speech. Go pull up Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame speech and watch it. And tell me if you're comfortable. I can watch Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame speech in a room by myself, and I will start sliding down in my chair. And I'm by myself. I'm that embarrassed. I'm that uncomfortable because you could hear in his voice how bitter, angry, that's a soul that needs peace, man. And maybe he got it. Maybe, I don't know if he has it now, but man, he sure didn't have it at that Hall of Fame speech. He sure didn't have it on that Last Dance. He didn't have it. So I'm just saying, need to have it. So anyway.
So Michael Jordan, you said you take LeBron over Michael Jordan, but what about Kobe? Kobe or LeBron? Who would you rather play?
LeBron.
Still?
I'd still rather be on the court with LeBron. Kobe's great. He wore LA for 20 years. That's my dude. And I remember when he came into the league. I literally remember the first day Kobe had on a Lakers jersey coming off the bench, airballing. I remember him. Airball like 3 straight threes. Maybe his rookie season. But he is the facsimile of Michael Jordan. That's who his inspiration was. That's who he looked up to. That's who he played like. That's who he emulated. He is a facsimile of Michael Jordan. And again, that Mamba mentality, that Mamba mentality. Oh.
It's the same vibe, right?
It's the same vibe. I'm not mad at it. Some people are just wired like that. Some people are just supreme alpha dogs. I'm talking about my preference. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't want to be a man motivated by negativity. I don't want to be a man motivated by bitterness. I don't want to be a man motivated by other people's disdain of me or dislike of me. That's a very unhealthy place to live. I'm telling you. Yeah. You might be successful, but you can't enjoy it. Because you gain that success and you thinking about who you hate. Telling you, y'all got some people. Let me holler at some of y'all real quick. All of y'all that got those anger issues, those grudge issues. Let me just address you real quick. The Bible teaches us to forgive for a reason. And your ability to forgive is not about getting them off the hook. It's not about releasing them. It's about releasing you. You're in bondage. If you still holding a grudge against who hurt you, you're in bondage. I'm talking to somebody right now. I'm looking dead in this camera. I'm talking to you, male and female. I know I'm hitting you. You need to forgive. No, you can't forget. Nobody told you to forget, but you can forgive. You let go of them so that you can be free, not so that they can be free. I can't let them get away with it. I'll never forgive them. You're going to wind up with an ulcer. I'll never forget them. You're going to wind up with high blood pressure. I'll never forget. No, you got to let that go. You got to let that go. And this is coming from a man who was sexually abused by an older teenager when I was 8 years old. I had to let homie go. I can't walk around with that for the rest of my life. I've dealt with heartbreak and betrayal. I had to let them go. I'm not going to be walking around thinking about them for the rest of my life. I refuse to let them consume my thoughts. I refuse to sit on this couch in the blessing that I have at this season of my life and going, yeah, if they could see me now. I'm not thinking about nobody that ain't thinking about me. Because I freed myself from them. I freed myself from their actions. I freed myself from their betrayal. I freed myself from their comments. I'm not saying it didn't sting. I'm not saying it didn't hurt. But once I released them, those hands opened back up. God said, "Oh, you cleared them hands up. Let me make a deposit. Let me give you something." Yeah. So you got to release them. You got to let them go. Let it go. Let it go. If Elsa could do it.
If Elsa could.
If Anna could do it. You know what I'm saying? It's a cold, cold world out here, I'm saying. I'm telling you, even with a cold heart, you can let go. I'm telling you, you won't be free till you let it go. You just won't. There's too many people out here stuck because they can't forgive. I can't let that go right now. I'm talking to somebody right now. Even me saying it to you makes you angry. It makes you angry because it brings up the emotions. It brings up the offense. But I need you to understand. I need you to understand. You releasing them is not about giving them a pass. It's about giving yourself permission to move forward.
By the name of Dan gave $5 on YouTube and said, "Let's guess what Uncle Tim gonna have for lunch today. Throw your guess in the chat. Let him know. Let him know, Tim. Let him know."
That is hilarious. Not an over-under on what I'm eating. Margie, you felt that thing? I'm feeling this thing about forgiveness real quick. Margie, you felt that thing, right? Yep. That was you. I felt you. It's all good. It's all good. All you got, just let it go, though. But God wrote, what about when it's your parents? Still got to forgive them. Still got to forgive them. You can forgive your parents and put up boundaries. Hey, your parents are trying to do the best they can. I'm not making no excuses for them. Some people did the best they can and completely destroyed you. Some people's best they could do was thank you, Holy Spirit. The best some people could do was pass on their dysfunction to you. The best some parents could do was just pass along their dysfunction to you. The best some parents could do was pass on their dysfunction through you. They didn't know no better, so look, we are a generation where some of us are first generation therapy takers, right? We're first generation emotional intelligence. We're first generation higher emotional IQ. We're first generation self-care. Your parents didn't do that. Let's keep it a buck, nigga. You just got here. You just started doing therapy 2 years ago. And now you walking around judging everybody else that's still in their dysfunction? Hold up now. You know you could be in Pride Month and it not be June. You could be walking around in Pride thinking like you had 7 sessions and now you're like, I don't understand why everybody else is out here in this dysfunction and everybody's dysregulated and everybody's a narcissist. You just learned the word, so now everybody's a narcissist. You don't even know how to put it in its proper context. Don't even know that there's a spectrum to narcissism. You a first generation self-care recipient, and now you're going to look at your parents like they crazy. You was a part of that dysfunction until like a year ago. Stop playing. You got to let them go. And when you become an adult, and if you get that therapy, good for you. And now guess what? You get to go back to your parents and you get to put some healthy boundaries around so that dysfunction doesn't continue to seep over into your adulthood. You couldn't change nothing. You thought it was normal growing up until some point when you were like, man, I don't think this is right. Broken people break people. Like, that's just how it goes. I'm not dismissing the pain it caused. I'm not dismissing the emotional trauma that could have existed. What I'm saying is, as an adult, you do not have to allow their actions to plague your present and your future. But you do have to forgive them. They might not ever go to therapy. They might not ever get self-care. They might be the way you've always known them until they die. And you can forgive them and go, listen, I love you, but I'll see you on Christmas. I love you. I'll only see you on Acción de Gracias, Thanksgiving. Or Acción de Gracias. See? Like you can figure it out. Thanksgiving, I can only come to one birthday. Like, whatever boundary that you need. But we gotta listen. As first and second generation, like partakers of therapy, we gotta stop walking around and looking at our parents like, I can't believe that you've been walking around. This is all they knew. Stop playing. Stop playing. I can only speak for my family. I can't speak for your family. People of color, black people in America. Do you know generational, there have been some scientific testing that says that generational trauma can go through 14 generations? 14 generations? Generational trauma. I was just talking about this with my friend Anita. Generational trauma can go through, some testings have said it can go through 14 generations. So next time you see black people at a pool party and they don't get in, somewhere in their DNA, they know water is not good. We didn't learn to swim. We're trying to stay away from that. It's encoded in their DNA. Next time you ask a black person, hey, you want to go hiking through the woods? There might be some generational trauma that informs them, nah, the woods may have some lynching in it. I'm not sure I want to just tra-la-la-la through the woods.
Wow.
Let's not forget, this ain't been that long, fam. I know we want to act like all this generational trauma and slavery and racism and segregation and Jim Crow, we put it in black and white like we didn't have color back then. We put King's Speech in black and white to try to make it seem like it was older than what it was. They had color TVs back then. Stop playing, fam. They already had color TVs. They tried to make it seem like it's older than what it really is. But let's keep it a buck. My mama drunk from a colored water fountain. Not my grandmama, not my great-grandmama. My mama drunk from a colored water fountain. My father had to purchase a burger on the colored side of the hamburger joint. Because they still wanted that money for that burger, but you just can't sit in here with the rest of us. Boy. My parents, fam. Not my grandparents. My parents. My grandmother, my mother's mother, was a wet nurse for white women. She nursed white babies for wealthy white women that did not want to nurse their own children so their breasts wouldn't sag. So if you want to know why there's some white men out here that love some black women, it's in their DNA. Who did they bond with? They bonded with a black woman. Whose milk were they nursing and drinking? A black woman's. That oxytocin bond, looking up, eyes looking up at a black woman, nursing off that nipple. Of course they're in love with black women. Stop playing. There's some DNA to this, fam. What you call a generational curse is nothing but a generational invitation to partake in the same thing in what your parents did. It's an invitation. Drinking doesn't run in the family. It runs in the acceptance of every generation that says yes to it. But you can be predisposed to it because your father and your grandfather and your great-grandfather. So you might just have a predisposition to alcohol, whereas somebody else has a predisposition to lying. But you got to participate. You can say yay or nay. Generational blessings run the same way. You can see a lot of people, 4, 5, 6, 7 generations of wealth, and then just one knucklehead just wants to fumble the bag. Right? Get strung out on heroin. And it's like, I don't understand why the trust fund baby is just downtown doing illicit drugs. I just want that to marinate real quick, just so you know. So I don't even know how we got off on that. I think it was because we were talking about forgiveness and stuff, right? Yeah.
It's man, right away it makes me think about my own personal journey because I don't know my father.
Mm-hmm.
And hearing that 14 generations trauma could go through.
Yeah.
Now it's like encouragement. I feel the Holy Spirit like telling me like, you need to go discover more.
Yeah.
So you can learn more about you.
Yep.
And what your family's gone through.
Absolutely correct.
So I can do right by my daughters.
Peep game. Okay. So I'm glad you said that. Let me co-sign on that. So, I got some cousins who are like an investigative journalists, like legit. They have done some very detailed work on our family tree. So we know the white man that married the African woman that came up. There was an illegal slave trade route that came up the Sabine River, right? And it was illegal because I think slavery was already like legally abolished, but they were still trafficking black people, Africans. So in East Texas, there was an illegal slave trade that came up the Sabine River that fed slaves to parts of Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana. And my ancestor, right, like times maybe 5 or 6, whatever, grandmother, came off that boat, and there was a white man, surnamed Ross. Okay, they were all like local magistrates and doctors and stuff like that, and public speakers. Duh. White guy, Scottish guy. He's already married to a white woman. He's smitten by this black woman. He marries her. He buys her and marries her. Like, doesn't enslave her. He's like, I'm taking her. But he has 5 children with her. He only has 2 children with the white woman. He has 5 children with the black woman. And that's where we come from. Okay. So clearly in my DNA is a disruptor. It's in my DNA. A white man in East Texas said, I'm married to her and her. Y'all figure it out. Homie's definitely a disruptor. In the 1800s in East Texas, you touting a white wife and a black wife, not like this is my slave girl. You calling her your wife and you outbreed this black woman with your white woman, your main white woman, you saying something. You are definitely a disruptor. You are a reconciler of sorts. Not saying that it is the way it should be done, but he clearly don't care. Right? That's in my DNA. Entrepreneurism is in my DNA. Right? This is a doctor. He starts his own business. These are speakers. They set up a whole enterprise in East Texas. We're all a part of that, okay? There are white Rosses and black Rosses of a certain age to this day that know the story of both sides of the family. That literally would say, if your last name is Ross, are you a white Ross or a black Ross? If they're on the phone or whatever. They would be in their 70s, 80s now. And, all right, so I know that, right? Boom, that's good to know. There's a disruptor in me. There's also a womanizer in me. This man thinks he has the capacity to love more than one woman. And did. Guess what's in the Ross? Guess what's in there? So faithfulness and fidelity? Oh, I got to choose that. Because in my DNA somewhere, I can justify. But I love you too. That's an open invitation that I have to go, I'm not participating in that. I'm not about to be in a situation where I'm on my second, third, fourth, and fifth marriage. My daddy broke that. My daddy was married to my mama for 49.9 years. Right? Just shy of their 50th. Stay married to one woman. I'm 25 years in. Love you, boy. I'm 25 years in with one woman. 10 to be 50 more with one woman. But for Ross's, oh boy, that track record is a little spotty. Most of them start off with one, burn that one out, and re-up on a younger one. Most of them average 2 wives, two marriages, or they got somebody on the side, blah, 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 blah. It's just good to know that's in the family. But I was able to trace that back, not to like one generation ago. I was like, because I'm a detective. So I'm like, oh, this white dude is a disruptor. He marries a black woman. They got all these mulatto babies. The 3 girls they can pass as white. They're that light. The boys are darker. And so they had to face that adversity and navigate being mulatto in East Texas back when this is like a crazy divided time in the country. Texas is basically its own country, so double down on that. That's why they told everybody 2 years late. Slavery is abolished. They was like, not over here. Shh. Silencio, por favor. Texas had no chill, sir. Yeah, Texas was over here like, I don't know. What Louisiana might be free. And look how petty they were. They were like, just don't tell them. It was like not even like a vocal revolt. Like, we will still enslave these people. It was like, let's just not tell them. Let's just act like that didn't happen. A nationwide abolishment, and they were like, let's just act like it didn't happen. And that's why we celebrate Juneteenth, or why Juneteenth is celebrated. I'll say it that way. It's significant for Texas for sure. When I got here, I didn't understand the significance of it. I was like, why would y'all celebrate being late? But I get it. So it's good to know, bro. It's good to know where you come from. And sometimes you got to do some research because our parents are not that forthcoming, right? It would be really, really good to know if your mama was a hoe. Like, that would be good to know, right? It would be good to know if your daddy was a hoe. It would be good to know if your daddy was into drugs. It would be good to know if homie used to lie a lot. You know, it'd be good to know that if there were people pleasers. It would be like you don't pick up on this stuff by yourself. Let's go back. I got Bible for everything. So let's go back to Genesis real quick. And we talk about we talk about Jacob being a trickster. I'm going to walk you through how Jacob became the trickster he was. Okay. What he did as a young man was trick his brother into getting his birthright by appealing to his appetite. Right? That was cunning. But do you know how many siblings do that? Like it was cunning, but we're acting like this dude was like 40 years old, like, I'm gonna get this from my brother. These are young men, and he used his brother's appetite to get his birthright. That's all he knew to do. But amongst siblings, can we be honest? If you got a sibling, have you not tried to play your sibling before? I'll tell you how I used to do it. So my mom used to buy us these TV dinners in the summertime because she was like, I'm not going to be cooking that much because we're growing teenage boys. We was eating all the time. So she would buy us these Swanson Hungry Man dinners, right? Well, I would hold on to my Swanson Hungry Man dinners. My brothers would eat in the summertime. They would eat what my mama cooked and then still have a TV dinner like 2 or 3 hours later. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm saving mine for something else. And here's what I was saving mine for. They would go through their TV dinners in like 2 or 3 days. All of them. And only mine were left. And here they come. Man, you gonna eat that? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna eat it. Come on, man, just let me have one. I'm like, do my dishes for a week. Because all of our chores were weekly. We had weekly cycles. You do my dishes for a week, I'll let you have one of the TV dinners. One of the TV dinners. All right. This dude traded me 7 days for a meal that he was going to poop out in 24 to 48 hours. This nigga traded 7 days of work for a meal. I was Jacob. It wasn't a birthright, but I was playing my brothers like that all the time. Like, nigga, if you're going to be that stupid, take the TV dinner. I just got out of chores for 7 days. Oh, you want another one? You got to do it the week after that. Now I'm off for a month because I parlayed 4 TV dinners. Because you know what? I loved peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I didn't miss that TV dinner. Okay, so I was a little trickster too. But let's go further. The next trick, his mama taught him what to do. I need you to put on, get a little more hair on your body so you could trick your daddy. His mama taught him how to trick his daddy. He didn't know how to do that. So it wasn't just that he was a little deceiver. His mama taught him how to deceive. This obviously produces the ire of Esau. So he has to run away from home. He goes down to where his uncle Laban lives. He falls in love with Rachel. He wants to marry Rachel. But his uncle Laban okey-dokes him and sends Leah to the tent. He has to work 7 years for Rachel. Then when he thinks he's getting Rachel, he gets Leah, has to work 7 more years for Leah. His uncle deceived him, top tier. So when you have a family unit that is operating in a certain dysfunction, whether it be drugs, whether it be alcohol, whether it be lying, whether it be stealing, whether it be gossiping, backbiting, all these, whatever these attributes are, you got to understand this is coming from somebody else. This is learned behavior within a family unit. And until you can see it for what it is, you can't break it. You know how many adults I've heard say, I don't know why I keep doing this. Because you haven't stepped back from it to see like, oh, I'm participating in a generational pattern of behavior, and I haven't decided to break it yet. I couldn't even see it clearly to stop it. So I know I got a disruptor in the family that comes from the white person in my family, very disruptive person. And I know womanizing is coming from this as well, and it was perpetuated through them mulattoes because them Rosses was good looking. Had them light-skinned Rosses out here on like boop, boop, boop. That 11% European was giving them that little boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Rosses wind up with white women, black women, Hispanic women, Filipino women. Listen, we can cover the rainbow. We can get all 31 flavors in Baskin Robbins. We're not lactose intolerant out here. We equal opportunity. So once you make a commitment, you got to make you got to make a decision because you know in our family runs this thing. And we can either choose to participate in it or not. It is a choice. Might be a tough choice. You might have a battle on your hands, but you got to do it. Yep. So anyway, that's what that is.
Since we're on the topic of family dynamics, one thing I've seen a pattern recently with like the people I've had conversations where it's so much easier to care more about other people besides your family. Like I'll give you an example. Like
Por ejemplo,
I have this one friend that's starting to realize that she doesn't give enough time to her. She has a great family, really great family. but she doesn't give enough time to her family because she's more interested in her friends. And so we've been talking about this pattern that a lot of people have, like we take our families for granted sometimes. Why is that? Like, why do we view, because it's just like, oh, family's there, they'll always be there. What is that spirit?
I don't know if it's a spirit,
Okay.
because everything ain't a spirit.
You're right.
Right.
Yeah.
I just think we live in a society that has groomed people for shallow friendships. Facebook started it. We're now friends. Click. Will you accept my friendship request on Facebook? We are now friends. Click. Facebook is awesome. And it disrupted a pattern of life that had been going on for thousands of years. As much as I love Facebook, I love Instagram, I love all the things, right? LinkedIn, I love them all. And it disrupted a pattern of life that has lasted for thousands of years. Here's the pattern. You said goodbye to a season and a season was over. Por ejemplo, 1993 is my graduating year, but I graduated from alternative school in 1994. I got kicked out of public school and had to go to a continuation school, alternative school. And then once I went to the alternative school, I graduated in 3 months. Like, it was finally like, hey, these are the units, you get to go at your own pace. And I was like, finally, I couldn't articulate this when I was in high school. I don't want to be here for 9 months. Just tell me what the hell I need to do and let me get it done with, right? So I graduated my senior year in 90 days. So we were, you graduate, you get a yearbook, right? You sign it, you put your phone number in it, right? And out of the whole 4 years, or maybe 6 years, or maybe 12 years, I have a friend, Lisette, my friend since second grade. Okay, the chances of us still being in touch outside of social media is slim to none, because for thousands of years, people said goodbye to seasons of their life so they can embrace new seasons of their life. So what did Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram disrupt? The ability to move on. Some people are supposed to they're just supposed to be in your past. They're now still in your present because of social media. Not saying y'all get together and have coffee every week and stuff like that, but the fact that you even still know what they're doing. That didn't happen until the mid-2000s. I was never supposed to know what my ex did from 10th grade. It was my ex from 10th grade. We tongued each other up in between periods. You know what I'm saying? Like, in between second and third period, we found a hallway and felt up on each other and went to the next class with an erection that you couldn't do nothing with. You know what I'm saying? You're just horny, right? You're just horny kid. But I'm not supposed to be 37 and knowing what my high school crush did. We kissed a couple of times and we hooked up at a park. I'm not supposed to know them now. And guess what? Friend request.
Friend request.
What you still doing? Nigga, you supposed to be in my yearbook. That's it. I'm not even supposed to know what you look like now. My memory of you should be permanently stained with your face at 18. And now I see you as a single mom of 4. First of all, I dodged a bullet.
4 of them.
Another one. But, right?
Yeah.
So the way we move through life changed. And now we keep these people with us longer. And so we don't have this break where it's like, my family's going to always be here and I'm always tethered to them. and I got this few group of friends, maybe one or two friends from high school make it through, and it's like, that's still my boy. I still rock with him. Y'all came up together, maybe had the same trajectory, and so you're still linked. But we wasn't supposed to still have connections to all the people that we have now.
Oof, that's so good. That's so good.
So when you talk about like family dynamics, it's like, well, that natural separation from all these people that should have been left, and you tether into your family and before you start your new family, and you got this small group of friends that you're going to do life with. Now there's this jaded perception. Listen, let me tell you something. It's wild to me that a person can walk up to me, and I know it's the way of our world, but it's just, I'm about to be 49 this month. I'm going to be 49, not 29, not 39, not 40. I'm going to be 49, right?
Speak on it.
Huh?
Speak on
Speak,
it.
right? I'm about to be 49. Because some of these people think I'm out here popping off at the mouth like some young dude that don't have no experience. I'm about to be 49.
Right.
I'm about to be 49.
And you've said specifically that you think about what you say before you say it. You've said that. You've been documented several times of saying that if I'm speaking, it's because I've thought about what I've spoken about and what I'm about to say.
Looking at all trying to tell y'all. I don't just be popping off the top of my mouth. I be thinking about this stuff. So I'm at this event, and somebody comes up to me with their phone, like, man, I want to keep in touch, and hands me their phone and thought I was gonna put my number in it. His whole face deflated when he got that email.
Aw.
He was like, your email? Yeah, nigga, my email. I don't know you.
Yeah.
You about to ring my phone?
Yeah.
Now, it might be different for you. You might be the extrovert, want to connect with everybody, want your phone buzzing, ding, 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 notification for every. All of my notifications is off. I don't know what's going on until I want to know what's going on. Ringing my phone is like ringing my doorbell.
Come on.
Ooh, that's a bar. That's a bar.
You do not deserve access to me at your leisure. You do not deserve access to me.
Come on, Tim.
Your emergency is not my emergency. Your need is not my need. Your desire is not my desire. Phone number? You can't have my phone number. That's for my family and my closest friends and some business associates that I rock with. But that's at my discretion. Just because we had a feel-good moment don't mean you getting my number. You gotta relax. The fact that you think I'm gonna see your DM. The fact that you think I'm gonna go look for it. You gotta relax. I'm trying to run a company.
This is good. We have people in the DMs literally giving us their numbers and saying, call me when you can. And I'm like, okay, but we're not. We love you,
We love you.
but we're not.
We know that piece of content registers something in you, and now you want me to do you want me and Juliet to do your premarital counseling? You saw a piece of my content. Is there any way that I can sit down with you and my spouse and you can help us in our marriage? We're in a bad place. Nigga, no. I cannot do that.
Yeah.
I have a wife, a soon-to-be 16-year-old, soon-to-be 14-year-old, two mother-in-laws. I mean, a mother-in-law and a mama, two mothers, I should say. Lord have mercy. There's only 24 hours in a day. I am a black man. I got to walk. I'm not about to have hypertension and diseases and all that kind of stuff. I got to go get my colon screened. I'm about to be 50. Need to make sure there's no polyps back there in my freaking anus. Man, I'm trying to live till I'm 80, 90 years old. Black men die at a lower rate than white men. Like comparatively. They die faster than white men. They don't take care of themselves. I gotta buck some trends out here. I can't get on the phone with you. I can't read your book. I don't have time. HarperCollins wants my next book. I'm so sorry, I don't have time. I gotta write my next book. You want me to read your book? I probably can't. Tell me what it's about. Give me the elevator pitch. I love you. It's gonna bless a lot of people. Go find your audience. Okay. I know that's gonna hurt. That's gonna sting some people. That's gonna sting some people. But
And since we're on this topic, I'm gonna try and find the words to explain it well, because it's like something that, and I want constructive criticism if I'm judgmental or I'm being vulnerable, because it's something that's been like kind of irritating my spirit, or just me, leave the spirit out. But one thing that I've been on social media a lot longer since working with you.
For sure.
And I remember when I was younger, up until I was like 19 or 20, I would use social media, and this was before I was saved, I would use social media to like show off, or use it to, like, you would just record everything, right? Where you're going and all that, right? And so when I got saved, the Lord told me to get off social media, and it has and I forgot about that, right? I like barely post on social media. So since working for you, I've been like more like, what's the word? Like, I guess attentive. I've been noticing a lot more people that I follow like post everything, and then being with you has made me realize how valuable my time and my life is, and I don't want to share that with just anybody. Yeah. And I was just talking to Caleb, like, I think I want to delete my social media, because I'm like, I barely post. I'm just there for reels. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
And so, like, what encouragement will you have for those people who are still trying to find their value, or like are posting about everything?
Yeah.
Like, what would you have to say? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Okay.
I think people are wired differently, right? And so, for example, Mike Todd. Mike Todd posts everything, but Mike Todd's an extrovert, and one of his strengths, if he's taking his strength finders, because it's good to have context on people. One of Mike's strengths is significance. So for a person that sees value in everything, they're gonna record everything, because every moment is significant to them. Mike celebrates so well. I've learned from Mike. I didn't celebrate enough.
Wow.
I got around Mike, I'm like, I need to celebrate more, right? So that's the way he's wired. I'm not wired that way, okay? This is how you run my social media, so you already know this. But the way I interact with social media is for pure entertainment. I am not going there to like be uplifted, or to be like, I don't follow people's accounts that are about to make me cry. Everything I do is emotional. Basement is emotional. We sit down, we listen to people's stories. I'm like, right? I'm either crying, they're crying, we both crying. I ain't got time for all that. So I'm like, okay, we need to focus in on what we're doing here, right? And so when I go to social media, I go to be entertained. I go for the mindless entertainment. I follow accounts that make me laugh and or do like really cool stuff or whatever. And here is my favorite thing to do. My favorite thing to do when I come across a piece of content that I really like is to engage with that piece of content and write a comment that is either so witty or funny that it gets 1,000 likes. That's why I go to social media. I go to social media to find a piece of content that I can write something to that 1,000 other people are going to like on that comment or make a comment about. And so I have one that's over 20,000 likes now and over like 150 comments.
Which one is it?
It's a commercial. I mean, it's a commercial. It's a reel about I gotta send it to you. It's a reel. It's like a Chinese reel or a Japanese reel about like a tampon. it is.
I have to see this one.
Oh, you
I
have to see it. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna send it to you right now.
Please.
Okay.
Oh wait, you have my phone on TikTok.
Oh, do I have your phone? That's I'm gonna send it to Derek. I'm gonna send it to Derek so you can see it. All right. So, well, I'll just put it in the group and then you'll have it whenever. Okay, but you got to watch the video first.
Okay.
You got to watch the video first, and then you gotta see my comment on it. I'm gonna look at it right now just to see where I am. So yeah, I got 20,000 comments and I got 20,000 likes and 127 responses to that comment.
Abrir, that's hilarious that it's in Spanish.
Abrir. Mi celular
I love it, bro. I love
es solamente en español. Sí.
Do you want us to watch it now or later?
Watch it right now. You can see it. It's when I tell you it's wild.
Yeah.
Is it this one?
Yeah, it's that one.
Okay, bet.
Yeah, see.
Let's switch to that.
While they're watching that, I just want to tell you that you can be a better version of yourself than you already are. You do not have to live your life in unforgiveness. It's pulling up all the audios of all the things.
All right, here we go.
No, but yeah, while they're watching that, I just want to encourage you. Like, you have an opportunity to be the version of you that is healthy, the version of you that is strong, the version of you that is brilliant and bright and bold and all the different things.
What? Oh my God. What?
It's the greatest tampon commercial of all time. Is that not? Is that
Find his comment.
okay?
I know.
So go look.
Yeah, hold on.
I was like, what is happening
Bro,
here?
that's crazy, bro.
It's my favorite one.
Wow,
We have to send it to the Discord.
Oh my gosh, hold on, bro. That's crazy. Bear with me one moment.
You see my comment in there?
We're
No,
coming
we're
to it right
Okay,
now. Yeah, we're coming to it right now. Wow.
Oh, he had to update his Instagram.
that's hilarious.
My Instagram is like, yo, update it before you open it. I'm
can
like,
you send it to Caleb?
yeah. Let me send it to Caleb. Yeah, that's the move.
Okay. That is hilarious.
Is that not hilarious?
We have to send it to the Discord.
Yeah, we'll put it in the Discord.
Oh my gosh.
I don't. Y'all need to get to Discord as fast as y'all can from YouTube, or just switch over to it and then switch back or whatever. But yeah.
Okay, here we go. We're looking for there it is. Even with the language. Okay, there. Tim's comment. Go ahead, read Tim's comment.
Buying now. I'm kidding.
Right? Is that not like?
Yeah, the comment is, even with a language barrier, I understood that blue will protect women from sharks. Period. Let me share
You
this
are
in the Discord.
so witty.
This is.
I'm
You're
sharing this in the
so
Discord
witty.
right
Listen,
now.
it like that's why I go to social media.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Yeah.
I'm not going to social media for nothing else. Like I wanna be mindless. I wanna be and I follow my friends and sometimes I see their content, but most times I'm in them reels and I wanna escape like everybody else does. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But do we engage with gotta be 90% of all the DMs that come through.
Absolutely.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But that can't translate to I'm gonna meet with everybody,
Right.
pray with everybody, talk to everybody. I won't have a life.
Right.
If I was single, I could do a whole lot more.
Yeah.
But my wife too fine.
Yeah.
She too cute. I gotta.
Do you think people would be less anxious, like less full of anxiety and less stress if they just like had their inner circle and like, so we're talking about like that social media and you do that for that. Some people are extroverted and do that. And it's so funny because I am extroverted, but I don't feel the need to do that. But like you said, everyone's different.
Yeah, for sure.
But do you think that people, how do I word this? Where people like end that like, I don't know what to call it. It's like that feeling like they have to overshare. Like, you think they would have less anxiety and less stress or less
absolutely
like,
it would.
what is that exactly? I don't know how to put that into words. Like, what is that?
Well, you got to understand what the algorithm is meant to do. The algorithm is meant to keep you on the device, right? So when affirmation is a heart and not a text from a friend, not a conversation with a friend, then now I'm going back here for my affirmation.
I see.
I'm going back here when social media becomes the main place for the validation of your very existence, it's no wonder why people will unalive themselves
Wow.
when they don't feel like they have validation coming from this place that they're used to getting it. The fact that somebody cannot like your content online and it lead to you struggling with rejection is a sheer sign that something is fundamentally flawed with the actual algorithm itself. If this is the cortisol it's producing, if this is the depression it's producing, if this is the rejection it's producing, if these are the tendencies that are ideating now, that's a crazy way for somebody to have to navigate life. And it didn't used to be like that, right? You had your friends, and if you had a bully at school, it was the bully at school. It was Toby, right? Like, Toby is a bully. You're scared of Toby, right? It wasn't 50 people online, right? 50 people online can seem like 50,000 when you only got 100 people following you. So it's like, for me, social media, you just got to steward it well. My kids still don't have social media. They've snuck on it and done some stuff, but they don't have a device. I told them, I said, hey, you can disagree with the philosophy that we have around it, but can you admit that your brain isn't on fire like your friends? And at 15 and 13, they're like, you're absolutely right, Dad. Like, we do understand and know it. Yeah. You know, the biggest compliment my kids get every time somebody comes over is, those kids look you right in the eye. Your boys look you in the eye. They know how to hold a conversation with you. You know why? They haven't had their brain cooked.
And they're gentlemen.
Yeah. But they haven't had their brain cooked. This thing's not deep frying them.
Yeah.
For 11 hours, 12 hours, 13 hours, 14 hours a day.
Yeah, it's tough, especially like I come from a background telecommunications, and I always believed that I was gonna introduce my daughter a smartphone at the age where your oldest son is at right now. She got one on Christmas at 12, and she's been on social media since she turned 15, and it has impacted us, even with screen time, even with situations. And do you have any maybe points of reference or any suggestions to parents who may have changed their perspective on how social media can impact a young teenager without kind of being that disciplinarian, authoritarian like vibe, like, hey, you know what? I believe this is not good for you. Let me just snatch it away, without damaging that rapport that you have with your teenage children, because you see how influential social media can be, not only in social circles for teenagers, but also like their acceptance when they're seen without access to social media or IG or Snapchat. So I don't know, maybe it's a personal question from me, and I know that there's probably a lot of parents out there that have shifted as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of parents that gave their kids social media, and now they regret it. And they actually think that by taking it back, they're being mean. No, you're being a parent. My kids are not my friends. They're my kids. If they make it to 30, we'll be friends. Right now,
that's good.
Those are my sons.
Yeah.
And I'm protecting my sons. Yeah. They may not see it as protection. They may say, Daddy's being too strict. They get to own the experience they're having with me as a parent. But that won't change me and how I parent. I am clear. Steve Jobs did not let his kids have an iPad.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Steve Jobs, creator of the iPhone and the iPad, would not let his kids have an iPad. In the same way, excuse the parallel. Y'all know where I'm from.
Yep.
In the same way that there is nobody in the cartel that's allowing their kids to do coca.
For real. For real.
Those cartel bosses, their kids go to private school.
They do. Tucked away nice with bodyguards. I seen it. I'm from South San Diego, so I seen it, you know. And they go to the nicest schools where their tuition is higher than houses.
They profit from addicting others, not themselves. Steve Jobs knew what we just put out is going to be so addicting, I don't want my kids on it. Nathan's turning 16. He's going to have a phone. It's going to be a nice little Motorola Razr. They still sell them. He can play Snake.
You can play little Nokia.
Dad, I need a phone to connect with my friends. Yeah, I agree with you. And you're going to call them niggas.
Yep.
You only got to FaceTime them. For what? You know what they look like. Is FaceTime bad? None of that stuff is bad. But I know what that brain can do to a 16-year-old mind.
Yeah.
And I'm not having it.
Yeah.
I'm not having just the little doses they get.
Right.
They barely, they lose their mind and we got to detox them from it.
Yeah.
So, no, you ain't getting, not in my house.
Yeah.
Not in my house. Now, 18, 19, 20, everything's going to be yours.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to do everything. But at least you'll be a little bit more, your brain would have cooked a little bit more. Psychology says that your brain's not fully developed till 25.
Mm-hmm.
Others are actually saying 30.
Wow.
But 25 is the consensus with most people that a human brain is fully developed. But think about it. We give kids access to everything prior to their brain being fully developed.
Wow.
They can drive a 2,000-pound car. They get to vote. They get to drink. They get to smoke. We give them everything prior to their brain being fully developed.
Wow.
What is smoking going to do to the brain? What is drinking going to do to the brain?
Yeah.
Wow.
What are drugs going to do to the brain?
Yeah.
Right? So it's like all these things that are going to mess with your neural network and your nervous system. I'm not about to. Why would I put them up against all of that?
Yeah.
For you to get catfished by a 37-year-old dude
Crazy.
who's saying he's a 16-year-old girl
No, but for real.
and he really likes you.
Yeah.
Some demonic stuff out here.
For sure.
Now, y'all can call it overprotective if you want to. Well, every generation had their thing and blah, 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 blah. This phone is crack, fam. I got addicted to porn when you had to go get a magazine and a VHS and then a DVD. This is crack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That phone is crack. You are there is twice the amount of bad to the good, and so you just got to be a very mature person and responsible, and be a responsible person to be able to navigate this. Because if not, and listen, let's not act like this is now. Okay, thank you, Holy Spirit. Let me calm down. I'm really passionate. I'm really passionate about this stuff.
We love it.
I get really passionate about this stuff.
Yeah, we're here for it.
I can't tell you how many times I've gone to dinner with adults that can't put their phone down.
It's prevalent.
This action is as addictive as this
Wow.
action.
You're right. You're so right. You're so right.
Like I had to literally detox myself. Listen, shame to admit it. I have literally walked through the house looking for my phone with my
I've done
phone
that so many times
in
too.
my Mickey Ficky hand. Literally, I have been on the phone in the airport and had this wave of dread hit me, thinking I left the phone in the car of the driver that dropped me. patting myself.
Talking to somebody. Talking to somebody.
You're not alone.
My precious. My precious.
You got 'em.
Fuck that phone, man.
Ah, man.
Yo, you gotta go. You gotta detox from that thing.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's why I step away from social media on the weekends, on Sundays. That's why I have limits on my phone. My phone shuts down at 7 p.m. All the apps shut down at 7 p.m. The whole thing goes dark. I can override it, but I don't feel like playing. It's just too much. So it comes alive at 7 a.m. and it shuts down at 7 p.m. I can still take calls, but I can't get on no social media. I can't blah, 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 blah. Again, if I need to override it for a second, it's not like a law thing, whatever. But you got you gotta like the phone actually has these parameters. Is what it is saying? You be responsible. You lock it down yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Krispy Kreme donuts ain't going nowhere, fat boy. You got to take another way home. You the one that said you was gonna lose 40 pounds this year. Let's just keep it a buck.
Yeah, for sure.
Krispy Kreme ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Popeyes ain't going nowhere. Chick-fil-A ain't going nowhere. You ain't gonna lose weight eating a large waffle fry,
Yeah.
a spicy crispy, and a peach milkshake because it's summertime. You're not losing weight that way. It's not happening. Stop playing yourself. You are not going to be celibate still listening to love music every day.
Come on, Tim.
Yeah, let me.
Come on, Tim.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You are not going to train your body for sexual intimacy with your spouse by masturbating. It's not going to happen. You're training your body to please yourself, not to be pleased by your spouse. And then guess what? Now your spouse has to compete with your hand and or your device. Don't have me. I'll come for everybody. I will dog walk every category if I need to. But I'm telling you, when you're ready to make a pivot, it has to be a full mind change. It's more than a notion. I know a lot of people with a gym membership ain't lost no weight. I know a lot of people with a Peloton ain't burned no calories. Just because it's in your house, you got close proximity, you have to change your mind to make that happen. Yeah. I know a lot of people making a lot more money, still ain't got a savings account. Because you got the bonus. You got a big fat pay raise, but you didn't change your mind.
That's good.
Let this mind be in you that was also in Christ Jesus. Okay, thank you, Holy Spirit. Hold on. Romanos, capítulo 12, verbos 1. I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present, Romans 12:1. I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. The most reasonable thing you can do with your body after putting your faith in Jesus is to be a living sacrifice. Verse 2. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
So good.
Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This takes me full circle to talking about Paul's culture. Renew your mind. Renew your mind. The way you think about money, you got to renew your mind. The way you think about sex and sexuality, you got to renew your mind. It ain't going to happen because you know how many people want to do something and can't? They have the desire, but they won't renew their mind. It makes no sense to detox from social media if you're going to come back and get back into the same exact habits. Oh, thank you, Holy Spirit. Some of y'all been trying to fast from food for a month every January. You need to just fast from porn for life. Y'all are like really out here every January. I'm not gonna. Our church is on a fast, you know. I'm gonna not eat sugar for 21 days, and the Lord's like, just stop watching porn forever. Make a decision. I'm gonna stop. I'm on my fast, so I gave up Netflix. I'm not gonna be watching no TV. Just like more worship music. And the Lord's like, no, get rid of the medicated gummies. You're dependent on those.
Wow.
It has nothing to do with anything other than you using something maladaptive to try to regulate your nervous system. Stop. You need peace. So, like, this is the focus I need you to have. This is the discipline that I need you to have. And again, you pressed B. You press B. You came down here. You press B. You come down here. You already know how we get down. You press B. You come down here. You know that basement philosophy is literally about changing the way that we think, changing the way that we talk, changing the way that we talk, changing the way that we walk. That's what we're doing down here. We're about life transformation. That's why nobody presses B until they're ready to change. Actually, nobody actually wants to be around me till they're ready to change. I've literally heard that from several people. Like, hey, man, I was distant from you. I didn't want to kick it with you. I didn't want to come around you because I just knew I wasn't ready to change. And I know if I get around you, you ain't about that life. And I'm not. I've done too. Listen, you got to remember where I came from. You got to remember, you already know the testimony of my sexual abuse. You know the testimony of the porn addiction. You know the testimony of the promiscuity. You know the testimony of the low self-esteem, of the low self-worth. I had a lot to go through to change. That's why I can't tolerate being around people that make excuses. Because based on where I came from, and then the environmental trauma of being born and raised in LA in a gang-infested environment my older brother found in a gang. Like, bro, you gotta understand. I don't know what to do with a person that doesn't want to change. I don't know what to do with you. I don't know what to do with a person that says that, okay, I'm committed to change and then don't follow through with it. I just can't relate to you. I don't know what that is. Because I had to put in too much work to be the man that I've become. And you think you just gonna get in my proximity for 3 or 4 hours and be me? Nah, nigga, you gotta put this work in. I'm so sorry. This stuff ain't gonna fall off you overnight. Proximity ain't gonna get you freedom. Work is. Proximity ain't gonna get you deliverance. Work is. You gotta change your mind. It's cool to have somebody motivate you, but you gotta put in the work. I'm glad I inspire you. I'm glad I motivate you. But I can't work harder than you on you. That ain't gonna happen. So you gotta make a decision. You have to make up your mind. This is how I'm about to navigate life. You gotta make up your mind. This is how I'm about to navigate what I'm going through. You gotta set a goal. And you got to follow through. Some of y'all got too many goals. Some of y'all got too many goals. And I'm going to tell you why I know you got too many goals. Because ain't none of them done. That's how you know you got too many goals. Ain't none of them done. You 22% complete on this goal, 47% complete on this goal, 2% complete on this goal, 93% on this goal, but won't even push through to get it done yet. You got too much stuff on your plate. I'm grinding. Some of y'all's business cards are stupid. I'm in my coach mode now. I'm sorry, I'm in my coach mode. I just came from the speakers conference, so I'm in my coach mode. Some of y'all's business cards are stupid. It's too much stuff on there. You ain't good at all that stuff. Speaker, author, coach, trainer. You got one client. Stop. Your book's not done. It's not published. It doesn't have a retail code on the back. It doesn't have an ISBN number. You're not an author. You wrote something down. It ain't published. Stop. Stop. Finish something. Finish something. Rip that business card up until you actually finish something. You ain't even certified yet. You talking about you a coach. You a prophetess. Ain't none of them came true yet. Stop. We got to stop. You an apostle, you ain't got no churches under you. There's 35 people at your church. 22 of them got your last name. That's a family life group, nigga. Stop playing. I'm just saying, man. Everybody out here trying to make a name. Everybody out here trying to be somebody. Everybody out here trying to be like, oh, I do all this stuff. And you don't do none of it well.
Yeah. Oof. Ooh.
You mid at all of it. You a mid author. You a mid coach. You a mid trainer. 10,000 hours. Not 200. You spoke 4 places. You international. I have a global ministry. Don't nobody know you. You ain't got a passport. How you an international global speaker? You ain't got no stamps in your passport. You ain't been nowhere. That's why I find it laughable. These Western Christians coming at me about the way I talk and the way I move, but you ain't been nowhere. You go link up with some Christians in England, you're going to be like, oh, Tim is mild compared to these people. Y'all trying to, oh, that thing is in my chest, man. Woo, Lord have mercy.
The people said no juggler spared today.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, we got to grow up, man.
Yeah.
We got to, y'all already know, you don't come down to the basement until you're ready to grow up. You already know. Y'all got to go somewhere else if you want to be coddled, if you want to be petted, if you want that encouragement that's just like, there, you're going to be okay. There's somebody for you. It ain't me.
Mm.
We do work down here.
Yeah.
And I'd be damned if I'm the only one doing work. Don't call yourself a dweller. You ain't ready to put in this work. Don't put these tats on your body and then misrepresent what this thing is all about. We making disciples of Jesus. That's all we doing down here.
Yes.
This ain't no fan club.
Nope.
I could die later today. This ain't no fan club. If you was only doing this because you into Tim Ross, nah. Follow me as I follow Christ. I'm trying to point you to somebody else. This ain't even about me.
Come on.
This ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm leading a movement. I'm not the leader of it. This was going on way before me. It's going to go on after me. But I'm telling you, you got to make up your mind if you're going to do this work or not. I refuse to keep giving advice to people that ain't going to take it. I'm not doing it. And I'm not doing it. I'm not talking about y'all that ask your questions and Q&A when we do all that. I love it. It's popping. It's dope. But I'm just saying, I'm not gonna cast my pearls before swine. Hey, I want you. I had some dude ask me one day. He said to me, hey, I'm coming to you with advice. I respect you. You know, what you say is like, I just need to know, blah, 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 blah. And whatever you say, I'm going to do, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay. So he told me the situation he was in. The situation he was in, he was like, I have this decision to make or this decision to make. I could either stay at this church or I could go and do something else on my own. I said, you need to stay at the church. 30 days later, I saw a flyer for him starting something on his own. I said, that nigga will never get my time again. He lied to my face. I respect you. Whatever you say, I come to you. I trust you. You're a man of character and integrity. Whatever you say, I'm going to do. Then he did the opposite of what I did. And guess what? He ain't even doing that no more. I'm 49. I've seen a thing or two. That's all I'm saying. I've seen a thing or two. I ain't mad at you, but if you want to be coached by your peer, you 26 asking a 27-year-old what you should do, don't come to me. Don't come to me. And if you say, hey, whatever you say I'm going to do, then nigga, do it. If I'm wrong, I'll actually tell you, yeah, I was wrong on that. My bad. I'm very rarely wrong on stuff because I have empirical data, not because I'm like some sage. I just been around the block. This works and that don't. This just some stuff is like that. If somebody comes to me and says, should I make a left on a one-way street? And I say, hey, man, that's not in your best interest to do. That's not me being a know-it-all. I know what happens if you make a left on a one-way street with traffic that's coming right. You're probably going to get in an accident. And if you don't get in an accident, you're going to soil yourself. You're going to say it, and then you're going to do it. So, yeah, I'm really passionate about people like really like focusing in on like doing something and like I don't got time to be around people that want to be mid. Jesus told his disciples, greater works are you going to do because I'm going to the Father. What I'm trying to tell you is, and I don't know why I'm coming after these people with these business cards right now, but again, you got too much stuff on your business card. Get good at one thing first. One thing will lead to the next thing. Preaching is what got all of this for me. Why am I telling you this? Because preaching is what got me to be an author. Preaching is what got me to be a podcaster. Speaking, talking, that's my gift. I parlayed that gift that I have over 10,000 hours in. Well over 10,000 hours. We might be at 25,000, 30,000. I don't know how many thousands of hours. It's almost 30 years. So y'all do the math on that. But I parlayed speaking into all these other ventures and enterprises and businesses. Speaking did that for me. So now when I become an author, it's based on what I've been speaking about. Podcasting is based on speaking. Now doing public speaking at corporations, that's based on speaking. You can wake me up out of bed at 2:00 in the morning and ask me to talk about something, and I'll be able to do it. Half sleep. I'll be better than the person that's mid and only has 200 hours. Why? Because I put in the time. And all I'm saying is you're not going to be successful in anything without a good work ethic. Point blank period. Salvation is free. It is not by works. But your freedom is going to require some works. Oh, your soul will be sanctified. Your soul will be saved, and you'll still be in bondage for another decade. All because you don't want to change up your lifestyle and renew your mind. There is no men in black wand when you give your life to Jesus that's going to erase your memory, and all you know is the Bible from now on. You're going to have to renew your mind. It's a reprogramming. Let me look up that word real quick. These 2 hours going by too fast.
No, I
know.
can't believe it.
Dios mío.
One thing, Tim, while you're looking that up, like you've expressed that you've been in the pulpit for 28 years, and you said that you were in counseling for 26 of them.
Yeah.
And recently you said you don't even got it all figured out. And you were saying earlier, a few weeks back, you said, I feel like I barely got my finger on the pulse of regulating my nervous system.
Yeah. That
And
was
it's like,
December.
that was a beautiful thing.
That was
for people-
December, bro.
For dwellers to hear that.
Yeah.
It lets us know, like, man, it's a long road, and two things can be true. We're required to maintain the discipline.
That's right.
If we really want to get this.
Absolutely correct.
And I'm speaking life into you because you ain't dying today. But I
Yeah.
just want to say it's important for us to carry it.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
And then give it back.
And this is why I talk about these cheat codes so much. I've been tinkering at this for almost 30 years, and I'm trying to give it to you sooner than what I got it. I'm trying to save you time. That's where the passion comes from.
Yeah.
If you want to know where that heat in my chest comes from when I start talking, it's like it took me 30 years to get here, and you can have it in less than 2 hours.
So good.
For free on a Monday.
For the
I could put it behind the paywall. I'm out here on Mondays because I just didn't want to leave 300,000 people behind on YouTube. I could put the whole thing behind the paywall and be like, oh, sorry, you missed the cheat code. You didn't download the B-Side app and you haven't subscribed yet, so sorry you. Nah, man, I'm out here.
Thank you.
Freely I have received, freely I give. This is it's my mind. So when I see somebody young, full of life, full of zeal, and it's like, man, that person, if with 3 tweaks, they could be amazing. But as I see them move, I'm like, they're not ready. They don't want it. Or I tell them something, they don't do it. I'm like, it won't happen again. Man, I want to link up with you again. No, you don't. The people, listen, I talk about mentorship because I am a mentee. I've always been somebody's mentee. So I'm a mentor and I've always been somebody's mentee. I got the most out of everybody that's ever mentored me because I literally blow up their phone. Hey, I'm flying in and spend the day with you. I just need to get on the phone with you and talk to you about some things. I bug the hell out of them. Squeaky wheel gets greased. These dudes that be saying, man, I want you to mentor me. Crickets. I don't hear from them from 9 months. Hey, man, I'm still waiting to. Nigga, you don't want this. Because you would be bugging the hell out of me if you wanted this. Well, I didn't want to bother you. And did it. No. You have a spirit of rejection. And so you are so afraid of being rejected, you don't even want to ask your question. Because if I say no, you're gonna personalize it and think that I'm saying no to you as a person instead of saying no to the date that you chose. You ain't about this life. You need to go to counseling to fix that rejection before you come to me. I can't be your counselor too. I am not a licensed therapist. I ain't got no letters. I'm a client of a therapy. I am not a licensed therapist. But you want me to mentor you, and there's no pursuit. That's crazy. That's crazy. Jesus said, follow me. Yeah. Not let me link up with y'all on Saturdays.
Send me a calendar invite.
I'm dead.
And just so you know, if you have a once a month meeting with a person for an hour over lunch, that's not a mentor.
Say that.
The best you can call that is a coaching session. A mentor literally does life with you. It's a ship. The relation is in the ship.
Wow.
The mentoring is in the ship.
That's good.
We are in close proximity, traveling in the same direction. There's no such thing as coaching ship.
Wow.
But if you're getting coached once a month and that's all you can get right now for an hour, take it. Absolutely. But mentoring, we doing life together. Good, bad, and ugly. That means when you succeed, I'm right there. When you fail, I'm right there. That's mentorship. It's not on, off. It's just whatever. Peter denied Jesus. Jesus was still like, what's up, Peter? You cool? You coming back or not? What we doing? So this is what you got to understand. This is what you got to know. You come down here to the basement. This is a community. Y'all already know. The dwellers, we're a community. We take it seriously. We take it very, very seriously. What we do here, we take and I know you take it seriously. Because when I see y'all, when I was in Atlanta, I had a couple walk up to me. The husband started talking to me. it goes without question that he's a dweller, because he's talking to me about everything I've said in the last year. And then when you said this, and then when you said that, and then when you said that, when you said that, it was like we was on the phone together. I love it. I love that you trust me in your ear for as long as you do. Like, because you know all of our content is long form. This is 2 hours on Mondays, and you know when we sit down with our guests, that could be 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hours is our longest, 4 hours and 6 minutes. And so the fact that you trust my voice in your ears for this long, I do not take that for granted. But if you trust my voice in your ears for this long, there's no way you can't change. The people that don't want to change, you have to stop listening. There was a guy, thank you, Holy Spirit, he brought it back to my memory. There was a guy at the thing, at the Next Levels Speakers Conference. He said, hey, I feel like God told me that I got to come up here and tell you something. I was like, okay. He said, I was one of those dudes that didn't like you. I was sitting down eating, and he walked up to me and told me this in front of Juliet. He said, I was one of those dudes that didn't like you, and I had judged you based on what you were doing online. And then the Holy Spirit convicted me and told me that you don't like Tim, but you don't know Tim. He said, so I decided to push past what I didn't like, and now I'm a dweller for life. And I just wanted to tell you, like, I apologize for the way I saw you. You are who you are. He said, thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you. This is what the dude said. He said, what the Lord showed me was your freedom convicted me because I didn't have that freedom. He said, that's what the Lord told him. He said, once I saw the freedom that you operated in, I realized I didn't have it, and I was angry about it. And I took it out on you.
Wow.
And it had nothing to do with you.
Wow.
And he got curious, which is like a basement philosophy anyway.
Boom.
Wow.
And instead of assuming, he decided to inquire.
Absolutely.
What a blessing. We here for it all.
Mm-hmm. But it didn't make me defensive to hear that. Again, everybody's in a different space. I don't have time to bring once you're free, you don't got time to bring context to your freedom. You're just free. Once you are free, you do not have time to bring context to your freedom to everybody that's triggered or dysregulated by your freedom. Jesus was the freest man that ever lived. Guess who he wound up pissing off? Bound Pharisees. They were pissed with his freedom. You ain't supposed to be healing on the Sabbath day. I'm so sorry. Sabbath was made for me. I actually made it up. My bad. Your disciples are breaking off the heads of the grain and eating it on the Sabbath day. He's like, yeah, they were hungry. David also went into the tent and took the bread off the table of showbread, and he didn't die. What's the problem? We don't share the same convictions. Don't be mad at my freedom. I care about weaker believers that are growing in their faith, and I don't want to be a stumbling block to them. And also, they can watch another pod. I can't coddle everybody. Turn me off. You ain't got to watch it. And I think I said it last week. I don't know if I said it last week or not. Or maybe I just sent a text to y'all or something, but I'm blessing people this year. People that don't like our content, I'm blessing them this year by blocking them. That's my gift to them. Is to disappear and erase myself from their life. I hate Tim Ross's content. You never have to see it again. God bless you. I was like, good to know. I'll help you with that. Yeah, we're gonna help you with it right Ding.
Meow.
Hey, so I made a post last week. Did I read that post last week about the simp stuff?
Man, I saw a post too that recently said about going in about the men. Is that what you're referring
Yeah,
to?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I don't
Did
think
I
you-
address that last week?
No.
Okay.
I feel like you just posted it just a few days ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe. Okay. So I got to give you this story. This story is hilarious.
Yeah, because like it's factual.
Let's see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was 4 days ago, so it wasn't. All right. So here was the thread that I put. I've been told by some men that I come across hard on men, or like a simp. I am most definitely focused on healing the brokenness within men because once that's fixed, everything changes. Healed men would make the porn industry evaporate overnight. Healed men would end sex trafficking. Women would flourish around healed men. Children would thrive around healed men. I quadrupled down on my focus on addressing this brokenness in men. I've seen the change that happens as a result. I had a guy who responded a couple of hours later, and he basically said, "Yeah, the reason why he's like simp is a Christian term, is a secular term, so that's not the reason why you're talked about by men or something like that." He said it's because you tolerate the Jezebel spirit. He said you tolerate the Jezebel spirit and you empower these dysfunctional women to do this, and this. I considered what he said. I'm like, what angle could he be coming from? What perspective? Do I tolerate the Jezebel spirit? And so I'm like curious. Let me see who this guy is. So I go to his account. And it is a nonstop troll of beautiful women on the internet. Instagram models and beauty influencers, fitness influencers. He is saying the most derogatory stuff about these women. I guess in his crusade to come against the Jezebel spirit. I don't know. I had time that day. Because sometimes, a lot of times you don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's certain days you look down at your watch or your phone and you're like,
It's the feet for me.
wow,
Yeah.
I have time today. I didn't even know I was going to have this time. So I wrote him back. And I wrote him back because he put that in my comment section. And so I responded in kind and I said, I obviously disagree with your perspective. I said, but you should put your account on private immediately before someone else who's wired like me sees how you talk to women and understands what you're really about. I woke up the next morning to see if he had responded. He was gone. He evaporated. He took himself out. He disappeared. He got away. Yeah, I have a burden for men in this season of my life. And I think this is my first time saying it out loud. So bear with me. This is raw. Something got triggered in me for men after my dad died. Because my dad gave me the most extravagant gift. Which was to be loved by a man in such a healthy way, to watch him be married to a strong woman who he empowered and he wasn't intimidated of. He didn't have to try to control her. She didn't have to stay in her place. He empowered her to be who she was because he was secure in himself. Is that not what Christ is doing with his bride? You think If marriage is supposed to be a type and shadow of the way Christ loves his church, do you honestly think Jesus is trying to put his wife in check? Or is he trying to empower her? The body of Christ is submitted to Christ. Absolutely. That's our head. And he fully empowers his bride to do the things that we need to do in the earth. And I'm not going to empower mine. He empowers his bride to speak. He wants us to shut up. I'm supposed to make my wife be silent. If tolerating the Jezebel spirit is empowering my wife to speak and have a voice. So all I'm saying is I'm quadrupling down on men. I have a burden for men. I want to inspire. I want to motivate, but I also want to challenge. I want to challenge your toxic thinking. I want to challenge your secular interpretation of manhood. I want to challenge the thought that you're out here to be a breeder and not a leader. I'm challenging all that. I'm challenging why you took the red pill. I'm challenging it. I'm challenging it. You think your crusade is to get out here and check all these women. When the truth of the matter is, if you became healed, the women would change around you in ways that you never thought. You got to remember, women are wired to receive. We are wired to give. A whole woman's body is wired and designed to receive. The man's body is designed to give. So before you start talking about what these women are giving you, the question should be, what are you giving these women? That's where I start. I start with the man. I think I'm on good ground to start with the man because Genesis lets us know it started with a man. That first man, Adam, took an L because he decided to die with his bride instead of for his bride. So yes, it starts with the man. Eve was deceived. Adam sinned. It starts with the man. I think it starts with the man. In Adam, we all sinned. I think it starts with the man. I think the responsibility, the biggest onus is on the man. So why would I not talk to men? How come you ain't checking these girls? Some of these girls out here cheating too. I ain't talking to them. I'm talking to you. Yes, women are responsible for their actions. Yes, there's some women out here that are absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But I promise you, the majority of them that are crazy got that way because they ran across a broken man. So I'm trying to let you know. I'll be talking to you, man. And you got to accept the challenge. If you don't want to man up, you don't have to man up. You can disagree with my philosophies and the whole nine. All I'm trying to tell you is I'm not 29. It works. I don't have a man in my life that's a friend of mine who doesn't have a strong woman. All of us got strong women. Ain't none of us got no coming to America, whatever it is you like. Whatever it is you like.
Bark like a dog. That was such a good
Hop on one leg. Though none of us got that woman.
Such a good movie.
We're not even attracted to that woman. I want a woman that's strong. I want a woman that has a voice. I want a woman who's industrious. I want a Proverbs 31 woman. All y'all out here talking about you want a Proverbs 31 woman. Do you know she's an enterpriser? Do you know she's an entrepreneur? Do you know she don't need you? A Proverbs 31 woman don't even need you. A Proverbs 31 woman wants you. Y'all still got an insatiable need to be needed. You want some woman to be hanging off your leg and need you. That's a sign of brokenness within you. Ain't no fully grown, mature man wants a woman that just needs them. I need you. I can't live without you. Girl, you better grow up. I want to empower you to live without me, if need be. I love that you want to be with me, but need gets manipulated. You know how many needy people get manipulated? A lot of people say, I'd rather be needed than wanted. Well, yeah, but that's out of obligation. If you're needed, that means they ain't even got to like you. I just need you. That's why some of y'all are in bad marriages now. Y'all don't even like each other, but you need each other. You need both the checks. You need to stay with each other because you won't be able to survive without each other because you're codependent and enmeshed and all that kind of stuff. I'm just telling you. Well, today was such a different day. Today's such a different day.
People are asking what you ate this morning because you in rare form.
Well, I do intermittent fasting, so I haven't eaten anything yet. But my blood sugar's not low.
That was so good. You gave us the verbiage for so much, Tim. So much.
Again, what you know that we're about trying to help people navigate through like the real vicissitudes of life, like the nuances and stuff. All the stuff we read in the Bible don't land in like clean grooves in life. We got nuances. There's complexities. There's all these different shades that we have to like address. And so it's like, yo, I'm not about to give you this cookie cutter answers that's why I'm not a pastor no more. I can't give you the cookie cutter 40-minute message. We got to talk through this stuff. No, we didn't get to no questions today. You don't need your question answered today.
Facts.
Renew your mind.
Facts.
Renew your mind.
Yeah.
That's it today. I don't care what you gonna ask today. I'm telling you, I don't care what you gonna ask today. Renew your mind.
It was peace, and I renew your mind.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. This is what it's about today. Every Monday ain't the same. Just like every guest ain't the same.
Yeah.
Ain't no Q&A today. Like this. Let's get this. Let's renew our minds today.
Yeah. That's good.
Let's stop fronting today.
Yeah.
Let's literally pivot and go, oh, we doing something else today.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I promise you, your growth spurt this year is going to go through the roof, fam. We're halfway done with the year. It's time to take an assessment. It's time to take a self-audit. What have you really accomplished this year? Are you on track to actually accomplish your goals? No excuses. No excuses. No excuses. Well, it was raining, so I didn't get to go out. What? Well, I thought this money was going to come through, and it didn't, so I didn't. What? We make time for what we feel is important. I am committed to learning Spanish. My behind was up at 4:30 today. I went to sleep at 1:45 a.m. We got home from Atlanta. We were unwound. I got into bed at 1:45. I got up at 4:30 to be on my 50-minute Spanish class with my teacher in Spain. Shout out to Marta. 50-minute Spanish class, and she gave me homework as she was getting off the Zoom call. Rude. La tarea es. She gave me my homework, and I was like, I'm not going to bed till I get the homework done. By the time I look down, now it's past 7. But I got my homework done. I'm about that life. I will be fluent in Spanish. I will be fluent in Spanish. Guess what I got to do? I got to wake up because she's 7 hours ahead. She's not adjusting her schedule for me. Well, I was going to take that Spanish class, but it was, oh God, there was hours. It was 2 o'clock in the morning some days. It was 5 o'clock in the morning some days. Guess what I got to do? No excuses. No excuses. I got a little bitty puck on my stomach. Hate it. I'm going to walk it off. That requires 10,000 steps a day. No excuses. It's cold outside. It's hot outside. Mosquitoes. No excuses. Just don't make no excuses. Well, I didn't get to get up in the morning. Now do it before you go to bed. 5 miles in the dark. Shut up. Get the GAT. Get the strap. Take your walk. Somebody roll up on you in the dark, that's on them. Coyote roll up on you in the dark, that's on that coyote. Put it down. Feel me? No excuses. If you say you're going to do something, do it. But all this, I got 19 goals that I'm going to do. You ain't going to get done with that. So we're halfway done with the year. Let's readjust. Let's calibrate. Where are we? Are we on track to finish? Some of y'all going to finish early. Now, if you finish early, now, boom, let's move on to the next one. But if not, let's not try to do that. Let's not try to do that. So, that's all I got.
That was good.
Fire.
That was so good.
That's all I got. TikTok, y'all good? YouTube, y'all good?
Yep.
Discord, y'all good?
Yeah, they good, man.
You've given us a lot to think about and process through. For sure.
Today is that day.
A lot of gold.
Yeah, today is that day. Somebody said birthright bowl. Reference to the food earlier. Chipotle is hilarious. Hey, I love you guys so much. I know I was a little firm today. I was a little firm today. My tone was a little bit firm today. But I think it's gonna be totally netters. Oh, yo, that gift. That's hilarious. That is so funny. Yeah, somebody put, go back up, scroll back up. Somebody put Knowledge 5106, Titus 2 women over twerking women all day, every day. But this is what I'm talking about. That woman's looking for attention. And if men stop giving her attention, giving, women give back what they receive. Press down, shaking together, running over. Miles Monroe said it best. You give a woman a sentence, she will give you a paragraph. You give your woman groceries, she will give you a meal. You give your woman a house, she will give you a home. You give your woman sperm, she will give you a human being. Women receive what we give them as men, and they multiply it and give it back to us. If these girls was twerking and these men were like, I'm not into that, you don't have to do that to hold my attention. I think you're beautiful just the way you are. I'd rather you say that for me in private and never do that in public. Guess what women, what happens when they receive something different? They give something different. Somebody tried to argue with me and said that if all the men idealistically, if every man in the world got healed, I said the porn industry would evaporate. They said no, it wouldn't. It would still be going strong. I beg to differ. Because if every man was healed, they would no longer even be acting in porn.
Yep.
So you
giving something different. Yeah.
So you telling me lesbian porn is gonna go through the roof? No, it's not going to happen. Sex trafficking would end. I sat with a young woman one time who had been trafficked. I told her two things. I love you and I don't want to sleep with you. She burst into tears crying. She said, every man that I slept with when I was trafficked was married. You're the first married man that said you didn't want to have sex with me. Just trying to tell you, if men got healed, women's bodies would be safe. If men got healed. Do you know why an adulterous woman caught in the act could be brought to Jesus, who I assume had to be naked? I don't think they allowed her to put her clothes back on before they brought her to the judgment. They meant to shame her. They meant to embarrass her. Maybe she had on the sheet, but I mean, come on, what are we talking about? We talk. It ain't a blanket, right? That woman's body was safe in the presence of Jesus. Jesus, as a single young adult male, wasn't like, dang. Protect my eyes, God. Oh, my God. Oh. They brought a whole naked girl here. And she down? because he was a healed man, the most healed man that ever walked the earth, her naked body was safe with Jesus. Go and sin no more. I don't judge you. Neither does anybody else. When you get up, don't do this again. It ain't a good look on you, boo. It's probably the only way you thought you could get affirmation or acceptance or love. But I'm trying to tell you, I'm a different kind of man. I accept you, and I don't need to abnormally use you to show you that acceptance. Most people that give sex only need a hug. I thought I was done. I'm trying to be done.
That's so good.
Most people that give sex only need a hug. They give sex because they don't think the hug is going to be enough for the person that they're. But if men were healed, we could embrace women's bodies and they could feel the safety and go, that's all I needed. I just needed to feel safe. That's it. So I'm just encouraging everybody to grow up. I'm encouraging everybody to go on this journey. I'm encouraging everybody to like really focus on like what it is to like renew your mind, what it is to live this basement lifestyle, what it is to really mature, develop, grow, have success, and have peace at the same time. It's a beautiful thing. Y'all are beautiful people. Until next Monday. Peace.
Press B with me, and let's let whatever gon' be just be. Yeah, so press B with me, and let's let whatever gon' be just be.